Hey guys, Chris here, and I am back. I am back again. It has been a while since I've been on the YouTubes, but you know what? I just can't stay away. So here I am, and today I wanted to go over this interesting item that I picked up at Harbor Freight a few weeks back. Let's just do a little forward action here. What I picked up was one of these 1/5 horsepower air compressor kits that has the compressor and the airbrush and a few other odds and ends. And today what I want to do is just an unboxing, and what I want to do is show you what you get when you buy this thing, and I'll just give you my first impressions. I want to do a full review on this later, but I still need to work with this a little bit more before I feel comfortable giving you my opinion of the unit. Let's just get this video going. Just hang tight. I'll be right back. Hey guys, look what I got. Something stupid as usual, but you know, the stupidest purchases can often be the most fun. Anyway, this is what I got. I dropped by my local Harbor Freight, I don't know, about a week ago, and I picked this up. I have wanted one of these for a while, and now I've always really wanted a good airbrush compressor. Instead, I bought this thing, which is not a good one, but from my research, which has not been great, but I'm somewhat familiar with this particular product, people have had good luck with it. So I'm going to give it a shot. I have several large, expensive air compressors already, and I just didn't want to, you know, put $200, $300, $400 into an airbrush compressor, you know, until I know I'm going to use it. So we'll give this a shot first. I've never used an airbrush before, you know, and that's why I got the kit. This has a cheapy airbrush in it. I have a slightly nicer one that I can try out also. So this is it. It was $79, and that was, I guess, a sale price. It was listed as advertised in the store, which usually means it's just an advertised regular price. But they wouldn't. I had a 20% off coupon, and they wouldn't take it. So I had to pay what their tag price was for it. But that's still cheap, really cheap, including the little few extra parts. Here's what comes in it. You get the compressor, hose, a regulator, filter, and then an airbrush and some tools. So, you know, it is what it is. We're going to give it a shot. So it's rated at 1/5 horsepower, and they have another one that isn't the kit that's rated at 1/6 horsepower. There's not a lot of difference in the units themselves, but there's a little bit of difference. Like the other one has this stuff as well. It has a gauge and a filter, but they're different. And also on the compressor, the fins on this little heat sink are different as well. So maybe they're slightly different. I don't think the jump from 1/6 horsepower to 1/5 of a horsepower is that much. It's probably meaningless, actually. Anyway, I just wanted to mention that. It probably doesn't mean anything, but it's worth noting, I guess. So here are the specs. Okay. 58 max working PSI, 1/5 of a horsepower, 0.7 CFM at 40 PSI, 1.1 amps, it's 100 watts, maybe a little more than that, but 1750 RPM motor speed, and of course it's 120 volts. Anodized aluminum airbrush, has a glass jar, a metal cup, and a hanging hook. So there's not a lot in there. You don't get a lot for the kit, but it's nice that you get a cheap airbrush. If you've not done this before, like me, you know, you got a free airbrush, and if you mess it up, who cares? Throw it away. Also, you can get cheap airbrushes on Amazon for, I don't know, like $8 or $9, up to 15 or 20 for a slightly better one. So if you're starting out, I'm hoping that this is a good starter air pump for someone who wants to practice or play with airbrushing various things. And it's easy and cheap to get into. Under $100, you could have 2 airbrushes and the pump and the kit and probably some paint. Well, that's enough jabbering. Let's crack this open and take a look at what's inside. All right, let me adjust this a little bit. Well, I will tell you that, and this is something I noticed at the store, fit and finish wise, like how this feels, it feels pretty nice. And I will say, this is a different compressor, or at least there's some differences than what's on the picture of the box. So here's the box. You can see at least this top part. And of course, this is modular. Like whenever they could improve or reduce costs of something like this, and still attach it to this body. But there's definitely some differences here. And I guess you would say we don't know if that's for good or bad, but a product like this that's built down to a price, whenever you see changes, I think it's for the worse. And you can even tell, look how fewer and how much smaller the heat sinks are on here versus here. This looks different. It's not just a color. This is more flat. It sticks out further. Of course, that's on the body of the compressor itself. This the filter looks different. That looks the same. Most of everything else looks the same. Okay, so this has a switch on the casting, which is not present. Which means, does that mean this doesn't have an on and off switch? I don't see one. Oh, it's right here. Okay, so it does. So for this looks like a slightly, at least a slightly cheapened version of this pump. We're going to try it. I have to be honest with you, this doesn't fill me full of hope for this unit. Most of the good reviews of what I thought was this compressor were actually for a different compressor. And usually when a product like this, which is built to a price, is changed, it's usually changed to lower the price, and you end up losing a little bit of quality as well. So we're going to find out if it's any good. It still might be, you know, but we'll see. Here's everything I got. Okay, you got some instructions, air hose, and this is a braided hose, and you probably can't see. It's pretty soft and flexible. I like that. The cord. So this cord is thick. It is 3C, 300 volt. So, you know, it's rated well. It feels cheap, but it's rated pretty well. And it does have a lot of, it has a lot of flexibility to it. It just, I don't know, it feels like cheap rubber. Here's the airbrush. Can you see that? Let's crack that open. Okay, so here's the airbrush. Let's just take a quick look at it. You know, I have to admit, the fit and finish of everything is actually pretty good. You know, the air hose, the cable, the compressor itself, it feels solidly built. It's heavy. It's just, I also know what the previous one looked like, and I think it felt a little better quality. So here's a paint bottle. This is glass. This is a tool to hang the brush. So this is to help you take it apart to clean it. So this is a paint cup. Okay, so here's the airbrush itself. And again, fit and finish wise, it feels good. It's heavy. It's a dual action. I assumed this was just going to be one of those types of airbrushes that just gives you control of on or off. But to me, this seems like it's the kind that gives you control of the paint flow. Okay, so here's the brush. Again, I'm hopeful, but not confident. We'll see. We'll see. You know, everything feels good. It looks good. But we are going to find out how it performs. And so I think that's the next step. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and set this up and get some paint ready, and we'll just do some painting. Okay.